Class 1 has a practice chart very similar to last week. However, we are really focusing on Mary Had a Little Lamb in preparation for our little performance in morning assembly next week on Tuesday morning, the 23rd. So we're gonna start by making sure the bow is tightened and rosined, just like last week. And then we're gonna sing Mary Had a Little Lamb. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow. Do, 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 so, so, do, do. Do, 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 so, so, do, do. D, 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 A, D, 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 A, D, D. And then we're going to go through the everything that we'll do in our performance together. So we're starting in rest position, and we're going to go to playing position together as a class. So we go zip, step, sway, Mr. Snappy, thumb on the back, snap on the strings, stop the traffic, button to the sky, make a silly hat, hello ear, and snuggle into your shoulder. We have thumbs down, thumb on the side of the fingerboard, pizzicato finger on D, and that is important to make sure that we prepare to play by setting our finger on the string that we're starting with. Okay, and then we're going to play Mary Had a Little Lamb 2 times without stopping. Then we're going to go into rest position. Of course, the audience will be clapping, so we smile and bow. Okay, so then we're going to get the bow out, well, starting with a pencil. We'll start with the pencil to practice forming that bow hold bunny, just like normal. So shake, 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 flap. Slide the thumb under the middle 2 fingers. Wake up, bunny. Nibble, 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 jump. Got a curved ear and a floppy ear. Check for that mousy hole here. And we check for squashy knuckles here. And we're going to do that 2 times. And then we're going to do the same thing with the bow. So we have the bow, holding it by the stick in the left hand, hair facing me. We go shake, 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 flop. Slide the thumb under the middle 2 fingers. Wake up, bunny. Nibble, 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 jump. Got the curved ear and the floppy ear. You can check for mousy hole here and squashy knuckles. All right, and then we can do up like a rocket. Up like a rocket, down like the rain, back and forth like a subway train, round and round like a great big sun, land on your hand, curve your pinky, bend your thumb. Okay, we can also do stir the pot. Which is a game in which we're pretending that we're stirring a pot or a bowl, a mixing bowl. We've been making all different kinds of things in class, like brownies and chocolate chip scones and chocolate chip cookies. So we just sort of walk through all the ingredients we're adding and we're mixing and so on. But the idea is that we're keeping the bow vertical and keeping that really good bow hold bunny. All right, so then we're going to go into from rest position to playing position with the bow. So rest position with the bow looks like this. We've got normal violin rest position, but we're holding the bow in our right hand first finger. So we just sort of make a hook with that first finger and hook the bow onto it. And the hair is facing out away from us. And then we go into playing position. So zip, step, sway, Mr. Snappy, thumb on the back, snap on the strings, Stop the traffic, button to the sky, make a silly hat, hello ear, snuggle into the shoulder. All right, and then when Mr. Snappy swims away, he's gonna hold the bow by the stick so we can make our bow hold bunny. Okay, now we've got our good bow hold bunny. And then we can make our rainbow fingers and set the bow on the E string. And we're wanting to place the bow at the green marker. So these markers should be dividing the bow into thirds. If they're not, you can easily move them. So we should have the lower third, middle third, and upper third. And we're setting the bow on the E string at the green marker. Okay, so here we're gonna do some cat doors, just like last week. So we've got this arm, the elbow is approximately at a right angle. It might be a little less or a little more, depending on the length of your student's arm. But from here, we're just going to lift the elbow up. So it should look like one of those cat doors or little dog doors. And we don't want the bow to be slipping and sliding on the strings. So we're thinking of having a sticky bow that's sticking to the strings. We're just lifting that elbow up and down. So this whole arm moves as one unit. We don't have the upper or lower arm moving independently. The whole arm just lifts and lowers like so. All right. So, all right, we do 5 of those, and then we have our rhythms. So the first rhythm is do da day da do day. So we can play that on the E string. And we're striving to stay between the green and the red, and to keep the bow between the bridge and the fingerboard parallel to the bridge. So we don't want it to be crooked. We want the bow to be straight, parallel to the bridge, and we're trying to stay between the green and the red markers. Okay, and then the next rhythm is do, day, da, do, day, da. So, and then they can also lift their elbow, open the cat door a little bit, just to rock from E to the A string, and they can do the rhythms there on the A string. Do, da, day, da, do, day, and do, day, da, do, day, da. Alrighty. And then if they also want to improvise and play something different, that is also fine. And then the last item on the practice chart is just a reminder to loosen the bow when they pack up, and they should also wipe the bow. And to wipe the bow, we just take the cloth, the cleaning cloth, we're putting it between the stick and the hair. We're not wiping the hair, we're wiping the stick. So we just want to get the rosin dust off of the stick. So between the hair and the stick, we wipe the stick up and down. That's all it takes. And then of course you'll need to readjust those markers. And that's everything. So as always, let me know if you have any questions, and happy practicing.